that we can do it, right? That we can be all that someone needs us to be, right? That maybe we're even more valuable than, like, we believe ourselves or our husbands believe, or we just don't, right? And that's all what chapter 5 is about, to be completely honest. So how many of you picked up it, read it, were prepped, and how many of you weren't? Yeah? Got any ahas to share?
The last part, that you tell somebody, I love you enough to help you change, like to help you. That was good.
Whew. Yeah, that's big, right?
Yep.
I love you enough to, why was that special to you?
Because not only are they a leader or your leader, you care and you love that person.
Yes.
To see them and help them grow.
Yeah.
I like the part that it says, when you're committed, you're gonna lose people. So you have to choose who you're gonna lose. Because you lose the uncommitted, or you lose, if you don't ask the question, then you're gonna lose the committed.
Yes.
So you have to choose who you wanna lose. The uncommitted one or the committed ones.
Oh, I love that. I love that.
Like, okay, I guess I'm gonna have to ask so I can lose the uncommitted people.
Right? How many of us are fearful to ask for the commitment, though? Right? How many of us are fearful? Now, for those of us that are in real estate, that means asking for the commitment of a seller or a buyer. How many of you don't want to ask that question? How many of you say, oh, by the way, are you going to work with me? Because I'm here to work with you. Right? How many of you are afraid of that answer?
I used to be, but now it's like, you know what, I don't want to waste my time. So either we're going to do this or we're not.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
You get to that place.
Yeah.
Right? You have to push beyond that place of, right?
Yeah.
I would say my biggest challenge for me right now is when a client's not satisfied with me. That's my biggest fear now. I'm not worried about if they want to work with me or not, because I'm like you. We're either working together or we're not. Right? Now I'm on to the next step. Well, if I see an email come from them that I wasn't expecting, oh geez, what's in the email? What did I do wrong? You know, I don't want to open it. I want to ignore it. They send me a text and I'm not prepared for it. I'm like, what the heck? Because my one thing is to stay ahead of my clients, right? That's my one thing. That's what I promise them, is that I'm going to stay ahead of them so that they're not having to reach out to me, right?
Well, that's where setting the expectations are so important.
Yes.
Right. I mean, not just in this, but in life in general, in relationships, anything. Find out what the expectation is first before you try to address it.
For sure.
But at the same time, you have to accept that no matter what you do and how much you do, there's gonna be people that are never gonna be satisfied.
Correct. Correct.
I had one that I closed. Even when I say, oh, we close, it's like, I don't know. I trust people. It's like, what the heck are you talking about? I just told you we close. I'm like, okay, you're welcome.
I'll send you a copy of the grant deed confirmed in your name.
No, he was the seller. He was the seller. I'm like, okay. So regardless, you know, there's gonna be, and then you just have to keep it like, because I was so mad. My sister, like, it was Christmas Eve.
Yes.
And I said, well, you know, well, I'm not gonna get my money today. Like, no, but you close.
Yeah. You are getting your money though. Here's the deal. All right. Thank you for sharing, Patricia. Chapter 5, pleasing people to challenging people, right? When you relinquish leading your people in order to keep their approval, right? Just like she said, like that client, she's not going to get their approval. I had someone tell me one time too in real estate, like if you have a client who's went through a divorce and then never returned your telephone call after the transaction closes, and even if it is successful, they may never, ever want to talk to you again because that was a terrible time in their life.
It was a trigger.
Yes. And so you just accept that, right? That they're probably someone who isn't going to carry forward with you, right? Whereas our buyers carry forward with us because they're so excited that they bought a house, unless of course it's a disaster area after the fact, right? Which we haven't had any of those, right? So, how to shift from a pleaser to a leader. You have to put doing what's right for your people and organization ahead of what feels right for you. How has being a people pleaser put your leadership in jeopardy? Anyone in here a people pleaser? Amy is. Yes. Anyone else? Yes. Yeah, I am actually. I am as well. Yeah.
I wasn't in not being.
You're working on not being. You're shedding that. That's what we just talked about in our team meeting today, our Lori Alvarez and team meeting. Shedding what was last year, right? So 1, change your expectations toward leadership. Number 1, what's best for the organization, right? What's best for other people within the organization, and what's best for me. So expectations start with the first thing is what's best for the organization now. I can't now that I have a real estate team and have people working for me just decide that I don't want to do lead generation. I don't have that option anymore, do I? I gotta go lead generate. Unless I don't want them to work for me anymore, because then I won't make any money, and then they don't have a paycheck, and then they go somewhere else. I don't have that option. Now, if you're an independent agent, do you have that option?
No. If you have bills and kids to feed, no.
Oh, imagine that. So you still have someone you're obligated to, right? Fantastic. Yeah. You have to still show up for the organization, right? So you are the organization. That's a lot.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
So do you show up and in your best for your organization?
Yes, but I'm not perfect.
Of course not.
There's days where
That's the beautiful thing. In our failures, right, is where we win. That's the beautiful thing. So what's best for the people within the organization? The people who are working for you, right? Melissa's organization is Melissa, right? Melissa's real estate. And the people within your organization are you and your family. And you have a real accountability partner on the other end of yours, right? Your spouse is super like, hey, you making any money this month? He's one of those people.
Yes. Highly.
He is one of those people. I know, he used to be my client. And that accountability matters, right? Yeah, it makes the difference, right? Definitely makes the difference. So then there's what's best for me, right? So now you've went down number 3 on the list when you're leading others, right? How can these 3 questions clarify your motives in leading? Oh, isn't that an interesting thought? When someone asks you to join a board or asks you to participate in leadership, what's best for the organization? Does that matter to you?
Should.
If you take the position,
Right,
right?
exactly, should.
It should.
Yep, you're always last.
Right, yeah. So when someone says, hey, by the way, I want you to be on this board, like the ALC, right? You have to say, okay, am I more concerned about the office or am I more concerned about my business? And neither one of them are wrong, right? It's just where you are in your life. So be okay with that, right? Maybe you're like, oh yes, I'm in a place where I'm organized enough and I have enough support that I can now focus on what's best for the organization that I'm going to serve. Or I'm not in that place, I can't do it yet, right? There's no wrong or right in it. It's just a matter of where you are in your life. So when you ask others for a commitment, you lose the uncommitted people and you gain the committed ones, right? Those are your key words there, lose and gain. And I really love that because the reality is we want to know, right, Monique? We want to know. You're signing, you're ready,
Right.
you really want to sell? Like, I don't even want to work with, like, sellers that are like, well, I just want to test the market. Go find another agent.
No.
Go find another agent because this is so much work for
Right.
me.
It's exhausting.
Yeah.
Or a buyer who says, oh, well, it's when I find my dream house. Okay, yeah, well, what is that? Oh, yeah, no, that's not in your budget. Did you see I opened the MLS? And that house does not exist in that area. I put your parameters in. Oh, no, it might be. No. I mean, I literally had a buyer I came across once, and she was like that. She will have nothing to do with me because I told her, like, I'm sorry. What you want is in Fontana.
It's not in your budget.
It's not in San Dimas. She wanted San Dimas, and it wasn't there. And she's like, well, I want San Dimas. I'm going to only let San Dimas.
Doesn't
Okay.
exist.
Go rent. Because it's not. Potentially, it's not. Right? So, I love that you gain the committed ones. Right? You gain the committed ones. That's super important. So where do you need to change your expectations of leadership? Anyone? After hearing just those little bits.
You need to ask who are the committed ones. Are you committed to me or not?
Right,
It's like your listing appointment.
Right, yeah.
You know?
Are you committed to working with me,
Right.
Mr. Seller or Mr. Buyer, when it comes to real estate? What about when it comes to boards or life? Maybe you have a bad relationship that's just like, it's just not. Like you're like, I can't figure out what the heck's going on with this relationship, right?
Lose it.
Hey, are you committed to me?
Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. I just gained
Yeah,
you.
because otherwise it's like,
Right? Right? Yeah, but I'm not showing up on Friday nights. Are you committed to me?
well,
There's nothing better to do, maybe.
Sure, baby, I'm committed to you. And yet I'm not showing up on Friday nights. What does that mean? Right? In life. Right? Right? Your buyers in real estate don't show up to the showing appointments. Maybe you're a little more committed than they are. Right?
well, but the expectations, if we go back to the expectations, because sometimes they want you to do all these things. I had this seller, they wanted me to lie, he said this, and then I go and check and said, wait a minute, you told me it was 4 months in the market. It has 440 days in the market. What the?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
He said, well, can you do open houses? And so I don't have to give you the listing? I said, no, you can keep it. Because I don't want it, thank you very much.
It's the truth.
But you're not committed.
Right, right, exactly. When we hire to bring someone on our team, I am like over the top with my expectations now because I want to scare the heck out of you so that you really don't want to work for me. Because if you say, wow, like, I still want to do that, then I know, like, oh, they're good.
Yeah.
Because I may not be that person in reality, and yet I want you to think I'm that person. Because sometimes I do show up and I am that person. Right? And so I set the expectations up front, right? Open houses every weekend, you get 1 weekend off, right? If you're going to work on my team as a buyer's agent, that's what it is. If that works for you, fantastic. If that doesn't, then don't join my team, right? That's what I say, right? Don't, well, I'm not really a big fan of open houses. Okay, then I'm not the right team for you. I'm not the right fit for you, right? You know? No, I'm not going to just give you leads. You got to go work and find them. You got to call people. Are you okay with that? Right? You set the expectations up in front of it. With your clients, you let them know. Let them know your business hours, guys. Just start with that, your business hours. Let them know your business hours. Monday through Friday, 8 to 8, Saturdays and Sundays. Saturdays, 8 to 8. Sundays, I'll do 1 to 6. Right? Those are my business hours. I'll respond to you. I will respond to you. Outside of that, forget it. I ain't responding to you. 8 to 8. Right? And honestly, like by 7:30, I'm kind of tired and I'm probably not going to even respond then. Start that, right? Just super, super easy. Set your business hours. Put them on your Yelp page and then honor them. Put them on your Yelp page and then honor them, right? Value people as much as you value yourself. Well, that really stood out to me. Oh, that one was big when I heard that.
I agree.
Value people as much as you value yourself. What does a person look like who devalues themselves?
He devalues others as well. I mean, so often we can come down and we're our own worst enemies. I did this bad, I need to improve here, I'm like this, I'm no good, and we keep telling ourselves these things, so now we've devalued ourselves, but yet we expect to add value to somebody else when we don't have it within ourselves.
Right. I really took a hard look on that when I heard John Maxwell speaking on that this morning. I was like, whoo, right? Because I'm really hard on myself. Then I think, gosh, am I that hard on my kids? And they will say yes. They've told me.
Yes.
Yes. I'm really hard. Like, I'm really hard on myself. And I didn't realize that until I was like, what's here is what's coming out, right? Even like scripturally, right? What's in the heart comes out. What do you believe about the value of others?
Everyone matters.
Everyone matters. Does everyone matter equally?
Well, if we're, going
No.
through the Christian way, yes. I mean, God loves everybody equally, so we're trying to model after him, and we should. But human nature,
Yes.
you know, it's hard. I have to pray about it sometimes.
Well, that's what I say no, because even though we try, you know, even in our own family, we have a favorite brother or a favorite, person, and there's some brothers that are like, okay, stay away from me.
But in a
You
business,
try and try, and with clients, the same thing, you know, there's some clients, you're friends for life, and some clients that you can hardly wait until the transaction is over.
Right.
So you don't wanna hear from them again.
Right.
So even though you try, but,
But we learn from our
it is a challenge
Yes. Yes.
to keep us in our toes.
well, the Christian way, of course, is to have everyone valued equally, and that's true, but from a business standpoint, if you value everyone equally, you're gonna wear yourself out. You're gonna spend time wasting time with people. You have to, you have to decide so that, because there's gonna be people you can't please. You have to narrow that down, the uncommitted people, you don't wanna, as far as value of time, that's depends on what you're valuing.
That's exactly it, right? Now you're talking about something more specific, right? Which is, you know, how do we break down our time? Well, that's the one thing. We'll do that next time. I'd be glad to do the one thing book. And, you know, figuring out what's the best use of our time. But relationships, all relationships do equal. They're all the same. They all do, right? As long as you treat them that way. You should be present when you're with them. Be alive, be engaged with them, not off doing something else. How does that make you feel? What's so good to see you? How did that make you feel? Right? Feel good. And as soon as I did this, you're like, oh, she's talking to me. I feel important. This is how most of the world does life now. But it's a cell phone. Right? I'm like, yoo-hoo, am I here? What about me? Right? And so I become as invested in them as they are in me. Right? So work to establish expectations up front. Upfront expectations. Upfront appreciation places value on the person and increases value of our time together. Upfront expectations increase the value of any meeting. Upfront questions are the quickest way for people to understand one. Just be direct, be upfront, right? Just ask the question. Do you plan on signing the listing agreement with me when I come to visit you? Right? Just ask it. They'll either say yes or no. And then you can decide whether or not you're still going in the world of real estate. Right? Upfront discussion influences the way and direction we lead each other. And upfront decisions increase the value of our time together. What could be different in your leadership if you set upfront expectations? Anyone? Think that they can do that differently right now? What do you think?
I believe it increases the value to the ones you are leading. Because you're showing them they're important, their time's important, and you're getting to know who they are. I mean, even in like in real estate, that whole pre-qualification is just expounded upon once you're there, and you have enough of an upfront commitment to even go.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I think like even showing up at meetings, right? Like I was listening to John Maxwell this morning, and he was talking about that. Like set the upfront expectation of how you want the energy to be in the meeting, right? That's what he was talking about, right? So I did it with my team this morning. Where's your energy? Because this is where I am.
You do the 1 to 10?
Yes. This is where I am.
Right.
And I need you to honor that and be with me there. That means not on your computer, not texting. That means here, fully engaged, present. I value our organization. It's important to me, right? That's important to me. If you're somewhere else, then again, right? The upfront expectations. The other thing I love that John Maxwell said is honoring the time of your meetings and saying to them, by the way, we have 10 minutes left. Is there anything else that we need to discuss right now because we only have 10 minutes left? Wow. Wow, is that right?
Yeah, because you're valuing their time. It's not like your time important.
Right.
Because they set up this time for this time meeting and then you overdo it and like, my God. You know? When you gonna shut up?
Anyone, can any one of you go over the 7 statements on how to equip our team? Who has it? In your workbook, it's probably there. Ask yourself the hard questions before any potentially difficult conversation, right? That's going to be 1, right? Page 96. On how you can do a difficult conversation. Another fantastic book and training that Keller Williams has is Fierce Conversations. If you haven't done it yet, you should. I've done it. It's a book, and it's a training that Keller Williams International has. And you can go. I went to Texas to do it, and I went to Pasadena to do it. Because I'm
what's it called again?
Fierce Conversations. Fierce. Yeah, I hear that too.
Yeah.
I know it's not me.
Oh, okay. It's a very nice ring. It's very peaceful.
Well, in the first one it says that when you shift, you're gonna go from try to set up a happy village instead to see what the day people need and what they need to do.
Yeah.
Instead to be just, I wanna please you and this, it's not about that, it's to be a leader, how you wanna help, instead how you're trying to make them happy, just be happy even though you're not helping.
Right, right.
So.
Yeah. We want to make sure that I'm all good with coming in for the real conversations now, like I can do them with no challenge, because I'm coming from a place of contribution, right? I'm coming from a place of, okay, how can we improve this? Because I don't want to have like this negative energy hanging over me all day long. I just don't want to. So the sooner I can knock it out, the better, right? And I loved, they had it on the One Thing podcast, right? He talked about the best way to open that up is, I'm here to help improve. I'm here to see you succeed, right? Open those conversations up that way. It helps, because then they know. Because what did John say? Nothing leads them to wonder what's happening. And then they write the story instead of you telling them the truth, right?
Mm-hmm.
So don't leave the empty space out there. Don't do it. When a tough conversation is needed, do it right. Did anyone have a bad conversation recently? Anyone?
I had with my client, the lost his deposit.
Oh, God. That's a tough conversation to have right there.
Conversation.
Whew.
Because then why didn't do anything wrong? I said, no, you did. You went and applied for a personal loan and we lost escrow. So yes, you did. I don't know what is wrong with it. I said, well, you're no longer qualified to buy the house.
Yeah.
So, and the seller lost a money.
Oh.
So guess what?
The buyer, you mean the buyer lost the money.
No, the seller,
Oh,
because he
the
was
seller.
buying, so it's like, he's not gonna let go of your deposit.
Oh.
Yeah. And I said, so. And
I
he
would
was like,
not want to call a client and tell them, by the way, you're
no,
out
and then,
$7,000,
and then it was
$6,000.
an older guy, a veteran, and he broke my heart. And I said, if you don't wanna sign it, don't sign it.
Right.
So, well, I don't want you to get in trouble. I said, don't do it for me. I'm okay with it, but just think about it. You made the seller lost $10,000. You did. Your deposit is only $2,000. Well, I don't think I did anything wrong. I said, no, you did. You did. So after, but it was a tough conversation because before I wouldn't say it was your fault. But I had to tell him it wasn't his fault.
Yeah. Right, it's setting the expectations up front. It's setting the expectations up front. How could we have done that better? I don't know your personal circumstances, but I do know how could we have done that better is reviewing and reflecting on what did happen, all the conversations in the beginning, and saying, what do I need to change in the beginning so that my buyers and my sellers understand that money's at risk. Amy and I had a conversation the other day about writing offers, getting them accepted, and then the buyer decides they don't want to buy it, right? And it was just because they wanted to just throw an offer out. Well, let's just see if they'll take our offer, right? That's all great and dandy, unless when you're in business to help families. Our time is valuable.
You wasted your time doing it all.
Right. So you need to come back to time is valuable and having those tough conversations up front, setting the real expectations up front, right? It's really important. Understand the 20-50-25 principle. 25 supports you, 50 is undecided, and 25 resists you. The secret of managing is to keep the guys who hate your guts away from the guys who haven't made up their minds yet. Casey Stengel. I love, like, you were brand new, right? Brand new, you're still kind of brand new. Some people can't remember who your name is yet, right? It's the truth, right? And I feel like this is really, like, close to where you are right now, right? Okay, for the ones who don't know me, and then the ones that were really tight with the previous TLs, right? And then there's the ones that are like, yeah, let's do this, right? So how would you say in your life right now, what has been your priority? Have you thought about it from this perspective?
You begin in reference to the role?
Yeah, as you walked in here, into this world, did this give you something to reflect on, like, oh, maybe I should start doing this differently?
Oh, absolutely. Definitely.
Know who are your supporters. I just told Amy this the other day. who are her number one supporters? Who are the ones that are saying, I love her, she's the only person you should work with. This is her. And love on them like no tomorrow, right? Because they love you that way. So show that same type of contribution, that same type of love. And then there's the ones that are undecided. They don't know you, right? That's the whole other gamut of the world. They don't know you yet. They're still deciding, right? And then there's the ones that are like, oh,
Not gonna happen.
right? I mean, it's the truth. What can you do to help move some people from the 50 to the top 25? From the 50 to the top 25.
Invest in them.
Whoa.
Value. Bring some value to them.
You can ask questions too. What is it that I can do to change your mind?
Yes.
Just something that simple.
Yeah. I love that we're doing this today. Our start of our real estate business, our theme, we do themed months for all of our social media and our events and our clients, and we have the same conversation with our clients every 30 days, right, about one particular thing. And our theme is, it's a new year, new you. That's what we're doing for January, right? And we did it last year, and we're doing it this year. And one of the things that's super important to us in this is that it's all about connection, right?
Mm-hmm.
The opportunity, you have a brand new year, right? And I know everyone says, oh, but every day is a new day, right? Yeah, okay, great. And today is a brand new year in your business. It's a brand new opportunity for you to say, I'm going to build deeper, real, tangible connections. So what 50 can you move up to your 25? How do you do that? That's by being really involved with people. It's having real conversations. It's not just calling them and saying, hey, by the way, do you want to buy or sell on this real estate? Right? That's not what they want. They know you do that. What they want is to know that, one, you're an informed professional, you know what you're doing, and you care about them. You care about them. So who are the ones that you want to surround yourself with? Start spending time with them. Start investing in them. Start caring about them. Just have conversations with them and your business will flourish.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
When you say conversation, you mean conversation, not text message or email. You mean conversation.
Text messages are valuable. Don't get me wrong.
They are.
And
But
conversations.
moving that 50% up to the top 25?
Yeah.
It depends on the, like millennials are totally okay with text messages.
That's true.
Yeah.
Right. They're valuable too.
Right.
It's part of the conversation.
Right.
Right.
Right? It's where you set the meeting.
Right.
Right?
Coffee, lunch.
Right?
Mhm.
It's where you do that. But you can't have a coffee text, can you?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, maybe they'll figure
It's
that
just
out
like-
one
Good
day.
Zoom.
Right,
Got Zoom, there you
Let's do
go.
a coffee chat. You bring up
Coffee
your own
chat?
coffee.
I don't know. I haven't figured it out
That
yet.
might be the future.
You know, it's a watch party on Facebook, right? Like, I don't know, let's have a coffee watch party. I don't know.
Wait, look.
Are we just making something? Did I write that down?
I think, like you said, it's setting that expectation. What's the best way to communicate with you? And they'll tell you, just call me.
Yes.
Or if they say, like Monique was saying, I'm better on text.
Yes.
So that to them is just as valid as a phone call, and you
Right.
heard it right from them. You asked them right
Right.
up front. So that expectation was set right from the get-go, that you can have a great communication with them via text, and it's valuable to them.
Yes,
So.
yes, because they may want to communicate that way, right?
Right.
So we balance care with candor. I love that. We balance care with candor, right? Which one do you naturally go to when challenging people?
Candor?
Do you go to care or candor? I think I go a little bit to candor, to be honest. What about you guys? Who's more caring? My sister, 100% caring. She's not candor, she's caring. So like, oh my gosh, something happened. She's got so much compassion. I love her, I adore her for it, because she really does. I'd be like, well, could you have done that differently? You can make excuses and results. That would be me. my sister, compassion or empathy, whatever you call it, right? She's got it. And what are you? Care or candor? I mean, it's all good what you are, right? One's not better than the other.
I think one helps demonstrate the other.
Yes.
Well,
No matter what you start
balance is
with,
the best.
one demonstrates the other.
Balance.
Oh, is that what he says?
That's what it says.
Is that what Mr. Maxwell said?
Yeah, I said a little bit of both, you know?
Sister, there's excuses and results, and I really care about you.
I know.
I still love you.
I guess that didn't work for Brett. How can you bring balance to include the other? I guess my example that I just set was not quite it. Right, and that's the reality though, right? You need to have that caring candor, right? Just be really honest, setting the expectation, telling the truth. Don't sugarcoat it. You know, I mean, you just got to be really honest with a heart of love. Care without candor creates dysfunctional relationships. Candor without care creates distant relationships, right? And care balanced with candor creates developing relationships.
It's huge.
I can tell you as I look back in my journey of leading my team that I have a little more care. And I realize I've been forced to do that. Yes.
I had to share this because I think I told you before,
Right.
but I see in you a huge growth
Oh,
from last year to this year.
thank you.
Not only with your team, but with the office itself. And I see the commitment, and there's certain things, because I'm like that in many ways, that is so tough and you wanna keep going your way, but you are forcing yourself to go in that direction because it's the right direction. And I see that growth, and then I see the commitment to the office and to your team, and thank you for it.
Thank you. Thank you for acknowledging it. I appreciate it. I know that it's challenging for myself personally. Like, I've always been very like, oh, just me. And then recently I've realized like, oh, okay, now it's about other people too. And now I've realized like, not only is it about them, but I gotta have them exceed what I'm doing, do better than what I'm doing, right? Because that's really what we're here for, is to build better people, right? And in the process, we will be better. We're not here for us. Like, I think that it's so easy to get caught up in that self-help. Well, I just gotta make me better, I gotta make me better, I gotta make you, right? But it's not just about making me better. It's when I help you be better, I'm better.
And in going that direction, you mentioned something about meetings and love the support. I think it's something that I personally would love for the office to go back to it, because I think we lost it a little bit. And even new agents, they say, well, I don't have a lot to share or to give, but it's not true.
Right.
Because everybody can contribute something for the office and to keep building that strong office and that environment that Keller Williams always stands for.
Yes.
But we have to keep nurturing, because otherwise it dies.
Yes.
So we have to keep going and caring and doing all those things. But if we don't even attend to the office, we don't know the people there in the office, so how we're gonna care? Well, I don't know, you like, oh, you were sick, well, I'm sorry. Too bad, right?
It's truth. I can share this with you. I have realized this. I've served on various boards in the last few years, right? And been in the leadership positions of those. Thank you, Patricia. And I'm currently serving on one board they are just phenomenal, right? Because they realize that they're surrounded by a bunch of busy professionals. And so they cater to you. They make arrangements for you to make it to their meeting. They set the expectation of, oh, you prefer text message? Okay, we'll text message you. Oh, you prefer an email? Okay, we'll email you. They'll do it. And then they follow up and they reach out and they keep you on page, right? They realize that they are there to serve the board so that the board can do what it needs to do, right? And wow, I was on another board that wasn't there yet, a startup board. And I realized where I am in my life right now, I can't help a startup because my business requires too much of my time and attention right now. But I can help a more established board. One, that helps me grow because I can tell you the way they cater to me makes me go back and go, how do I cater my clients like that? How can I do that with my clients, right? So think about where you are in your life and the person or board or organization that reaches out to you and asks you to lead in that. And then say, are they in a place where I'm going to be able to support them? Or am I going to be a burden? Because I just can't do it yet. I realized that. I didn't realize that. I used to just say, yes, I would love to. I want to serve. And now, from these experiences, I realized where I am in my life, I need to have a board or a position that has very organized, right? So that I can learn to create that same element in my business for my clients. Does that make sense to you guys?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't ever make that connection, and I just recently made that connection. It was huge for me. I was like, wow, crazy. What is the biggest hurdle to overcome in moving from pleasing people to challenging people? Right? Let's go back and forth. Care values the person. Candor values the person's potential. Right? Care establishes the relationship. Candor expands the relationship. Care shores up weaknesses. Candor, oh, I love this, brings out strengths. See how candor is needed? Care makes the team pleasant. Candor makes the team productive. Being real when you do your 411s, right? And you've got to report your numbers. Okay, here's the truth. Right? I didn't list any houses last month. That's the truth. Well, what'd you do all month? I sat on the couch and watched movies all month. You know? Oh, okay, well, that's not going to get to the results you're looking for, and I really care about you, but we're going to be out of business. Right? But it's the truth. From the list above, pick one that you are good at and one that you need to work on. Ooh, does anyone have one that they're good at? On that list, what are you good at, Monique?
Establishes the relationship.
Establishes the relationship. Fantastic. What do you need to work on? Anyone? What do you need to work on?
Expanding relationships.
Yeah, that's me too.
Oh, expanding relationships.
I think this little portion brings out or makes me think of the love languages, the
Five love languages? Yes.
Because even us just maybe reaching out saying, hey, do you want to get to that may not be important to them. It might be a gift or something.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think I need to pay a little bit more attention to the love languages. I'm building the relationships.
I would agree with you on that. If that's something that you believe you need to work on, I would agree with you on that. Yeah. Anyone else have one that they would like to share that they're really good at? Everyone loves to talk about what they're really good at. Anyone?
I would say, so It's interesting because it's on the same side.
Oh, interesting, okay.
Yeah, so shores up weaknesses, like
Okay.
I don't want, like the people pleasing side of me is like, I don't wanna get you upset, but I can tell you it's wrong, so I'll just brush it under the rug so I don't offend you.
Oh,
'Cause
yeah.
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 So, yeah, I would say that.
That's reasonable.
Mm-hmm.
That's,
Yeah.
always says you're a really caring person,
Mm-hmm.
right?
I think that I value the person's potential.
That's something you do well.
I think so.
I agree. Yeah.
Even though I
And-
have hard time with me, I'm doing this, and I didn't have to fighting and like, no, you know, I'm here, but I wasn't here.
Yes.
I didn't get it here, so, but sometimes you wanna minimize what you have done because your goal is too high, is high, and then you say, well, I'm not doing anything, I'm too low.
Yeah.
But you don't see where you were at
Yes.
before.
Yes. Yes. Roadmap for challenging people. State the issue clearly at the beginning, right? This is what you guys need to do, right? State the issue clearly at the beginning. Use the phrase, are you aware of that? I love that. Are you aware of that? And ask them to tell you their perspective, right? Start with the phrase, I need you to help me understand your situation. Ask questions. Say, am I hearing you correctly? This is what I heard, right? Repeat back what you heard. Allow them to respond. That's a hard one for me. I have to like to Lori. Everything tense in me. Right? Try to find common ground. Arrive at an agreement on what's best for both of you, not just one of you. Look for the win-win, as we say here at Keller Williams. If you cannot come to an agreement on the issue and solution, agree to meet again. Let's have another conversation around it. Seek the growth opportunity that lies within the tough conversation. Seek to maintain a positive relationship, even after, right? I love boys. Boys do that, I think, really well.
Oh, yeah.
I think girls just like harbor stuff forever. I'm like, come on, get over it. But boys are really good. They're like, okay, we're good. Right? Generally. That's what I have found. I'm a mother of 4 boys. Make a commitment to balance care and candor using this roadmap. And then, of course, next week's meeting, chapter 6, maintaining to creating. Do we have any questions? Any ahas? Anything you'd like to share? We only have a couple minutes left.
The more you read it, or the more you listen to it, the more gems you find out. Because I already finished the book, and I went back for the chapter. So, and they're like, I didn't even hear that the first time.
Mhm.
So, the more you do it, the more you get in the message. So, even if we finish, we can go back and then get more
Yes.
from it.
Yeah. I gotta tell you, like, I was a very much a people pleaser in the beginning of my real estate career, and I realized how much that was hurting my clients, right? Hurting my clients, because they need to hear the truth, right? And sometimes the truth in real estate doesn't feel good.
And not only in real estate.
Well, that's to be bold,
True.
even at a listing appointment. Do you want me to tell you what you want to hear, or do you want me
Right.
to be 100% honest with you right now?
The only way I learned to be able to do that is through scripting. Because it was just my script.
Right.
And I was like, well, I better say the truth. Like, I just said that to him, right? And it is the truth, right? You guys just, people pleasing isn't helping. It just isn't helping people. It's
Plus, it
not helping
wears
you, and
you
it's
out.
not helping, yeah.
It absolutely is exhausting.
It's exhausting.
Yeah.
It's exhausting. I mean, how many husbands out there try to please their wives over and over and over again, right? And then they're just exhausted because they're not being real to who they are. And that's where divorce comes along.
Yeah.
Right? Stop being a people pleaser. Just be someone who cares and that's candor. Right? Be that person. That's it. That's all it is. I am excited about Chapter 6, maintaining to creating, the abundance shift. Maintaining to creating. How many of us were just in maintenance for the last 30 days? Now it's creating time, guys. Now it is.
Get the friends out.
Next Monday, lunch here, right? 12 to 1. So excited. Bring a friend, bring a guest. We'd love to have you. Thank you for coming. And I'm so excited for what you're all going to do this year. It's going to be amazing. And tell them what you do.
Oh, I'm commercial, so if you guys ever need commercial
Support.
anywhere in California or even out of state, I'm here to help you. And I do a 50-50 split for any referrals. So.
I might have one commercial.
Okay, fantastic.
It's a good resource if you have clients that do commercial, but you don't service commercial. Because commercial is a whole different beast.
Yeah, don't try it on your own if you're not
Yeah.
trying it.
But more so,
Your broker will.
yeah.
Have a cow.
Yes. But add it to your conversation on do you want to buy, sell, do you have commercial?
You have a support piece right here.
Source.
Like-minded person, like-minded agent, Keller Williams. She's an affiliate partner, right? I mean, so.
I'm on the committee, the ALC committee, commercial, so,
Yeah.
yeah, if you guys need, or
Don't
even
be
just
afraid
have
of it.
questions.
I may have been registered and I missed it, but I don't know who you are.
I'm sorry, oh, my name, Tamara Sedlak.
Yes.
And you work-
Tamara, what office are you
I'm in
in?
the Corona office.
Oh, you're in the Corona office?
Isn't that fantastic
Yes.
that she comes out?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Great.
It's called commitment.
Yes, I'm committed.
She likes John Maxwell.
Yes, I do, and I have 2 other people that are following,
Fantastic.
via Facebook.
Yeah, fantastic. That's awesome. Yeah. And we are going live. So if you guys remember, we are live. It's live on my personal page, and then it's live on the KW College Park page as
Oh,
well.
okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so they can tune in at
Yeah.
noon, or you can share.
Okay,
I know we're friends on Facebook, so
Yeah.
you could share my posts.
Okay.
All my posts are shareable.
okay. Fantastic.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. Take a plate to go.
Happy New Year to everybody.
Happy New Year.